president business, stole the Craggle, the most powerful object in the universe.
Blah, blah, blah. Proper name, place name, backstory stuff.
Not one, but two of Silco's traps.
This isn't Silco, it's someone else.
How do you know?
Because we'd already be dead.
Oh, very nice. Airship, actually. An airship has a rigid metal hull. It's not a blimp.
Undercity's gonna eat you alive.
Before jumping right into that, hi random person, I am Randomly, and welcome to my random chat.
Undercity's gonna eat you alive.
You really think I needed all the guards at the Hex Gates? Sorry to say, you've grown a bit predictable. How many chats have you had with her?
You know, I never even thought to count.
I spent so many nights in that shitty prison on that freezing floor, hungry, bloody, counting the hours. The only thing that kept me going was the thought of getting back to you.
Hating you. I've hated myself. I just don't have the energy for it any longer.
All you country boys saying you know how to treat a woman right. Well, only a woman knows how to treat a woman right.
Easy, easy, easy.
She gets job.
She my private dancer. You can call her phone, but she ain't gon' answer. You can call her phone and I'll probably answer. Go, go, go.
this rich, unhinged mongoose to attack me? Mongoose? Your hair. You look like an angry oil slick. Don't sugarcoat it, Cupcake. And what do I have? You're hot, Cupcake. You gonna help me out, Cupcake? Stop calling me that. My name's Caitlyn. But you're so sweet. Like a cupcake. It's been real, Cupcake. Thanks. Already. You're just saying that. Do yourself a favor, Cupcake. Go back to that big, shiny house of yours and just forget me. Vi and Caitlyn's relationship is literally a righteous lesbian tragedy, and here's why. Remember this scene? It's super important because it portrays the crux of Caitlyn and Vi's relationship, and that's their opposing notions of protection, which is really important because they're both really protective people. We can see that Caitlyn protects Vi by pulling her close to her, but Vi protects Caitlyn by pushing her away. And like, it's already bad, because it already seems like their relationship can never work. And this tragedy is carried on and explored even more in season 2. Watch. Pulling and then pushing. And their oppositional notions of protection is entirely the tension of their relationship and why it is, well, struggling to survive right now. But before we get into why and how exactly that tension is explored in season 2, let's get into how they first developed these notions of protection. And this all comes to the parallels of all my fault and how Vi and Caitlyn differentially rationalizes that. Caitlyn believes that everything is all her fault due to her guilt of inaction, and the most obvious example is blaming herself for the loss of her mother due to her inaction to take the shot against Jinx. I mean, it's very clear and repeated throughout the season, so the obvious conclusion would be developing a notion of protection that requires her to act, and in order to act upon people, with people, whatever, she would need people to be close. And it could be close in a physical sense, it could be close like in a metaphorical sense. So that's how her notion of protection culminates, is in needing to pull people close in order to act upon them so that she wouldn't be able to be rendered helpless or inactive when it comes the time to protect them. And an example of how she does this in season 2 is when she asks Vi to be an enforcer. Another factor in why Caitlyn needs people she loves to be close to her is because she's not used to loss. Unlike Vi, she hasn't lost a ton of people. Her mom's death is really the first big loss that she's ever felt. Because Vi is someone that she loves, then she wouldn't want to lose her either. And by asking her to become an enforcer, Caitlyn is directly trying to pull Vi closer to her. It would be in the same squad, Vi would always be in her line of sight, Vi would be close enough so that Caitlyn can act and protect her. And I really think that this is the main reason Caitlyn asks Vi to become an enforcer, even though it's highly suggested in the show that Caitlyn does so because Vi is capable, reliable, would make a good ally, whatever. I just really think that she asks Vi to be an enforcer so she can protect Vi by keeping her close. Now, contrary to Caitlyn, Vi believes that everything is all her fault due to guilt of action. Vi unfortunately has lost a lot of people, like Milo, Clagger, Vander, Powder, and she believes that this is all due to her actions, unlike Caitlyn, who thinks that all of these losses are due to inaction. The main part where we can see this is during this talk with Vander. He asks her, in her endeavor to hurt the topsiders, who is she willing to lose? And he names all of the people that she's lost due to her actions, or what she thinks is due to her actions. The most obvious example would be her biggest guilt, which is in killing Powder and creating Jinx. It was due to her actions, like slapping her, calling her a Jinx. You get the idea. I don't want to watch that episode anymore. So if she believes that she harms others due to her actions and due to associations with her, then it would only make sense that her notion of protection would be distancing herself from them, would be pushing them away from her. And Vi's example of protecting Caitlyn by pushing her away from her in season 2 is actually during the breakup scene. And hear me out. The show suggests that one of the main reasons why Vi left Caitlyn was because she didn't like the way Caitlyn was changing. I mean, it's pretty obvious. She's turning into a dictator, hurting the Zonites, causing Vi to turn against her own values by asking her to be an enforcer, even though that's Caitlyn's way of protecting her, tragically. But just think about it. Vi's biggest guilt in the show is that she created Jinx, and Jinx subsequently killed Caitlyn's mom, which subsequently led to Caitlyn spiraling into Ambessa's clutches. And if Vi truly believes that everything is all her fault, and it is through her action, through her creating Jinx, that inadvertently led to Caitlyn changing into someone that she doesn't like anymore, then it's Vi would employ her notion of protection by distancing herself from Caitlyn so that she doesn't become a worse person or whatever Vi thinks is worse due to Caitlyn's association. And you could argue that during the breakup, Vi distances herself from Caitlyn both physically and mentally. Physically by fighting in an underground arena, a place where Caitlyn would probably never find her and never step foot in. And mentally by drinking so much alcohol to try to forget Caitlyn and their past. Look at all those bottles. Girl, get yourself together. Albeit she still hallucinates Caitlyn, so it's kind of feeling there. And therein lies the tragedy of their relationship. And it's how tragic this is. I mean, you can literally see it just theoretically, just like talking it out, pushing and pulling, they're oppositional, they contrast. Obviously, it doesn't seem like they'll ever work. But this is exemplified especially by when they first meet after months of being apart. It's in this scene in particular that I was particularly taken with the way that Caitlyn was immediately vulnerable. Her walls were immediately down, yet Vi seemed to still have her walls up. And why is that? And I'll explain it in another video because this video is getting super long and it's actually literally getting dark outside.